Owen Turner stood in his kitchen, watching his wife laugh at something on her phone. Her smile was bright and beautiful, just like always, but for the first time in 7 years of marriage, that smile made his stomach hurt. Something was wrong. He could feel it. What's so funny? Owen asked, try to sound normal. Naomi looked up, her green eyes sparkling. Oh, just a silly video one my student sent me. A cat playing piano. She showed him the screen, still giggling. Owen smiled, but inside his mind was spinning. Who was she really texting? Why did she turn her phone away so quickly when he walked in? I'm heading to work, he said, kissing her cheek. Her perfume smelled like vanilla and flowers, the same perfume she'd worn since they started dating. Everything seemed normal. Everything seemed fine. But Owen couldn't shake the feeling that something had changed. It had started 3 days ago at the office. Owen worked at a boring insurance company, sitting in a small gray box they called a cubicle. His co-worker, Marcus, had stopped by his desk with coffee. Hey, man, I saw your wife at that school fundraiser on Saturday, Marcus said, grinning. She was the star of the show. Everyone loved her. Owen smiled with pride. Yeah, Naomi's great with people. She's a teacher, so she knows how to work a crowd. Marcus laughed and slapped Owen's shoulder. Work a crowd? Dude, she was working overtime. I saw her talking to this tall guy for like an hour. They look pretty cozy, if you know what I mean. Owen's smile froze on his face. What guy? I don't know. Some dude. Dark hair, fancy suit. They were laughing a lot. Real friendly. Marcus winked. You got nothing to worry about, though. Naomi's a good one. But the way Marcus said it, like he was trying too hard to be reassuring, made Owen's blood run cold. That night, Owen had watched Naomi more carefully. She seemed the same. She made dinner, asked about his day, and curled up next to him on the couch to watch their favorite show. But when her phone buzzed, she checked it quickly and smiled before putting it face down on the cushion. Who was that? Owen asked, trying to sound casual. Oh, just someone from the fundraiser committee, Naomi said, waving her hand. We're planning another event next month. It's going to be a lot of work. Someone from the fundraiser committee. Was it the tall guy in the fancy suit? Owen wanted to ask, but the word stuck in his throat. What if she lied? What if she told the truth, and he sounded like a jealous, crazy husband? So he said nothing. The next day, Owen started looking for clues. He watched how Naomi dressed in the morning. Was that dress new? Was she wearing more makeup than usual? When she hugged him goodbye, did she seem distant, like her mind was somewhere else? Every little thing became a puzzle piece that didn't quite fit. On Tuesday morning, Owen accidentally walked past Naomi's phone while she was in the shower. It sat on the bathroom counter, screen dark and silent. His hand reached out, trembling. All he had to do was pick it up, swipe the screen, and he could see who she'd been texting. But the water stopped running. Owen's hand jerked back like he'd touched fire. He rushed out of the bathroom, his heart pounding so hard he thought it might explode. What was he doing? This wasn't him. He trusted Naomi. They'd built a life together. They'd promised to love each other forever. But Marcus's words kept echoing in his head. They looked pretty cozy. That afternoon, Owen found himself sitting in his car during lunch break, searching on his phone. How to know if your wife is cheating. The articles all said the same things. She's distant. She guards her phone. She dresses nicer. She smiles more but talks less. She has mysterious meetings. Owen's chest felt tight. Naomi had been doing all of those things. By Thursday, Owen had made a decision. He told himself it was just to put his mind at ease. He told himself he would feel stupid when he saw there was nothing to worry about. He told himself he was being smart, not sneaky. He was going to install a camera. Owen found a website that sold tiny cameras hidden inside everyday objects. There was one disguised as a phone charger, another as a clock, and one that looked exactly like a regular black pen. He ordered the pen camera. It would arrive tomorrow, Friday, while Naomi was at work. Owen could barely sleep Thursday night. He lay next to his wife, listening to her breathe softly in the darkness. Her hand rested on his chest, warm and gentle, like it had 1,000 times before. I love you, she whispered in her sleep. Owen's throat burned with guilt. I love you, too, he whispered back. But love and trust were supposed to be the same thing, weren't they? If he really loved her, why couldn't he just ask her about the man at the fundraiser? Why couldn't he talk to her instead of spying on her? Because a dark voice in his head answered, what if she lies? Friday came. The package arrived at 2 p.m., just like the tracking number promised. Owen's hands shook as he opened the small brown box. Inside was a pen that looked completely normal, black, with a silver clip and a tiny button on top. But hidden inside was a camera lens so small you could barely see it. The pen could record video for 8 hours straight and save everything to a memory card. Owen walked around the house, trying to decide where to put it. The kitchen? No, Naomi mostly just cooked there. The bedroom? That felt too invasive, too wrong. Finally, he chose the living room. He placed a pen on the bookshelf, nestled between a photo of their wedding and a little ceramic owl Naomi had bought on their honeymoon. The pen's camera pointed directly at the couch and the front door. Perfect. Owen pressed a tiny button on top. A small red light blinked once, then disappeared. The camera was recording. He stepped back and looked at the shelf. Everything appeared totally normal. Naomi would never notice. Owen grabbed his car keys and headed back to work for the afternoon. But he couldn't focus. Every email felt meaningless. Every phone call sounded like underwater noise. All he could think about was the camera, silently recording in his empty house. What would it show him? Tonight, when Naomi was asleep, he would watch the footage on his laptop. He would see her normal day, maybe making tea, grading papers, talking on the phone to her sister. And then this would all be over. He would delete the video, throw away the camera, and never tell anyone about this shameful moment of weakness. That was the plan. But when Owen came home that evening, Naomi greeted him at the door with an unusually bright smile. How was your day? She asked, kissing his cheek. Fine, Owen said, his eyes darting to the bookshelf. The pen was still there, still recording. How was yours? Naomi's smile grew wider. Actually, it was really interesting. Someone stopped by today. We talked for a long time. Owen's heart stopped. Someone stopped by? Who? Oh, just someone helping with the fundraiser. Naomi said lightly, walking toward the kitchen. I'll tell you about it over dinner. Just someone. Owen's hands turned to ice. The camera had caught everything. Tonight, he would finally know the truth. Owen couldn't eat his dinner. The chicken on his plate might as well have been cardboard. Across the table, Naomi chatted happily about her day, but her words sounded fuzzy and far away. So then I told the principal that we need more art supplies, and she actually agreed. Naomi laughed, taking a bite of salad. Can you believe it? Hum, Owen mumbled, pushing rice around with his fork. Naomi tilted her head. Are you okay? You seem weird tonight. Just tired, Owen lied. Long day at work. After dinner, Owen helped wash the dishes, dried them, and put them away, all while the camera's memory card burned like a hot coal in his mind. It was waiting for him. The truth was waiting for him. I'm going to take a bath and read my book, Naomi announced, kissing the top of Owen's head. Don't stay up too late working on your laptop, okay? I won't, Owen promised, his voice barely a whisper. As soon as he heard the bathroom door close and the water start running, Owen raced to the living room. His hands trembled as he grabbed the pen from the bookshelf and pulled out the tiny memory card. He shoved it into his laptop and opened the video file. The footage began at 8:47 a.m., right after Owen had left for work. The living room was empty and quiet. Sunlight streamed through the windows. Everything looked peaceful and normal. At 8:52 a.m., Naomi walked past the camera, wearing her pink bathrobe, carrying a cup of coffee. She sat on the couch and scrolled through her phone, smiling occasionally. Owen's jaw clenched. What was making her smile? For the next hour, nothing interesting happened. Naomi graded papers. She talked on the phone with someone named Jessica about lesson plans. She folded laundry. Owen fast-forwarded through the boring parts, his finger hovering over the keyboard, ready to slow down the moment something strange appeared. Then, at 11:23 a.m., the doorbell rang. Owen's breath caught in his throat. He slowed the video back to normal speed. Naomi walked to the front door and opened it. A tall man stood on the porch. He had dark hair, broad shoulders, and wore a gray suit that looked expensive. He smiled at Naomi, and she smiled back, a big, warm smile that made Owen's stomach twist into knots. "Daniel, come in, come in." Naomi's voice sounded cheerful and light. "Daniel." The man stepped inside, and Naomi closed the door behind him. They stood in the entryway, just a few feet from the camera. "Thanks for coming over," Naomi said. "I know you're super busy." "For you?" "Never too busy," Daniel replied, his voice smooth and confident. Owen's hands curled into fists. "For you? What did that mean?" Naomi led Daniel to the couch, the same couch where Owen and Naomi watched movies together, where they cuddled on Sunday mornings, where they'd shared 7 years of their lives. Now a stranger sat there, right next to his wife. They talked, but the camera was too far away to pick up every word clearly. Owen could hear fragments. "The venue. By next Friday, if we can get enough sponsors." It sounded like work stuff, fundraiser stuff. But the way they sat, so close together, their knees almost touching, made Owen's blood boil. At 11:45 a.m., Naomi laughed at something Daniel said and touched his arm, just a light touch, her fingers resting on his sleeve for maybe 3 seconds. But those 3 seconds felt like knives in Owen's chest. The video continued. They spread papers across the coffee table, pointing at lists and charts. Daniel leaned closer to see something Naomi was showing him. Their heads nearly touched. Owen wanted to scream. He wanted to slam his laptop shut and pretend he'd never seen any of this. But he couldn't stop watching. At 12:30 p.m., Naomi stood up and went to the kitchen. She came back with 2 sandwiches and 2 glasses of lemonade. She handed one to Daniel, and they ate together, still talking, still smiling, like old friends, like something more. At 1:47 p.m., after 2 hours, Daniel finally stood to leave. Naomi walked him to the door. They hugged. Not a quick, polite hug. A real hug. The kind where you squeeze tight and hold on for several seconds. "Thank you so much," Naomi said softly. "I couldn't do this without you." "We make a great team," Daniel replied. Then he left. Naomi closed the door and leaned against it, letting out a long breath. She smiled to herself, a small, secret smile, before walking back to the couch and gathering up the papers. Owen's vision blurred with angry tears. A great team. Couldn't do this without you. Those were things you said to someone special, someone important, someone who mattered. Owen slammed his laptop shut and buried his face in his hands. He wanted to march upstairs and confront Naomi right now. He wanted to shout, "Who is Daniel? Why was he in our house? Why did you hug him like that?" But what if she had a good explanation? What if Owen looked like a jealous, paranoid fool? No, he needed more proof. Real proof. The next morning, Saturday, Owen woke up with a plan. While Naomi was out grocery shopping, he ordered a second camera online, this one disguised as an alarm clock. He placed it on Naomi's nightstand in their bedroom. The guilt felt like swallowing broken glass. The bedroom was their private space, their safe space. Recording there felt evil and wrong. But if Naomi was hiding something, he needed to know. Over the next 3 days, Owen watched footage every night while Naomi slept beside him. The bedroom camera showed nothing shocking, just Naomi reading before bed, choosing outfits in the morning, talking on the phone about school stuff. But on Tuesday, Daniel called her. Owen watched on the laptop screen as Naomi answered, her face lighting up. "Hey, how are you?" She listened, nodding and smiling. "Yeah, I think we're almost ready. Just a few more details to finalize." Then her voice dropped lower, softer. "I know. Me too. This has been really special." Owen's heart shattered. This has been really special. What did that mean? What was special? The fundraiser? Or something else? On Wednesday, the living room camera caught Daniel visiting again. This time, he brought flowers, yellow roses. "These reminded me of you," Daniel said, handing them to Naomi. Bright and cheerful. Naomi blushed. Actually blushed. Daniel, you didn't have to. I wanted to, he said simply. They sat on the couch again, working on more papers. But this time, Owen noticed other things. The way Naomi tucked her hair behind her ear when Daniel looked at her. The way Daniel's hand rested near hers on the couch cushion. The way they seemed to exist in their own little bubble, separate from the rest of the world. At one point, Daniel said something Owen couldn't hear, and Naomi laughed so hard she had to wipe tears from her eyes. It was the last time Owen had made her laugh like that. He couldn't remember. That night, Owen barely slept. He tossed and turned, staring at Naomi's peaceful face in the darkness. She looked so innocent, so beautiful. Was she a liar? A cheater? Or was Owen destroying his marriage with his own paranoia? By Thursday, Owen had reached his breaking point. He couldn't eat, couldn't focus at work, couldn't think about anything except Daniel and Naomi and those yellow roses sitting in a vase on their kitchen counter. During his lunch break, Owen made a phone call. Park Investigations. This is Daniel Park speaking. How can I help you? Owen took a deep breath. I need to hire a private investigator. I think my wife might be... I need someone followed. There was a pause. I understand, sir. This is a difficult situation. Can you tell me more? Owen explained everything. Marcus's comment, the cameras, the footage of Daniel visiting, the long conversations, the flowers, the hugs. Daniel Park listened quietly. Sir, I'll be honest with you. What you're describing could be innocent, but I understand why you're concerned. I can follow your wife for 1 week and provide you with a full report. It will cost $2,000. $2,000. That was a lot of money. Money they were saving for a vacation to Hawaii. But what was more important, a vacation or the truth? Do it, Owen said. For the next week, Owen lived in a fog of anxiety. He watched the camera footage every night. He watched Daniel Park's daily email updates. He watched his marriage crumble in slow motion. The investigators' reports were thorough. Monday, subject met with Daniel Reeves at Sunshine Cafe, 3 p.m. Duration, 1 hour. Behavior, professional. No physical contact beyond handshake. Tuesday, subject and Daniel Reeves visited Jefferson Elementary School, 2 p.m. Met with school principal. Discussed fundraiser logistics. No romantic behavior observed. Wednesday, subject and Daniel Reeves visited 3 potential event venues. Took notes, discussed pricing. Relationship appears strictly professional. By Friday, Daniel Park called Owen directly. Mr. Turner, I've completed my investigation. I've followed your wife for 7 days, reviewed all her phone records that I could legally access, and interviewed people who've seen her with Mr. Reeves. Owen gripped his phone. And, sir, there's no romantic affair. Daniel Reeves is the volunteer coordinator for the school fundraiser. He's married with 2 kids. Every meeting between him and your wife has been in public places or at the school. They're working together on a big charity event, nothing more. Owen felt like he'd been punched in the stomach, but the flowers, the hugs, the way they look at each other. Some people are naturally warm and friendly, the investigator said gently. That doesn't mean they're having an affair. I found no evidence of cheating, Mr. Turner. I'm sorry, but also congratulations. Your wife appears to be faithful. Owen hung up the phone and sat in his car, staring at nothing. No fight. Naomi wasn't cheating. But somehow, Owen didn't feel relieved. He felt worse, because now he had to face what he'd done. The cameras, the spying, the private investigator. He'd spent $2,000 and 2 weeks treating his wife like a criminal. He'd violated her privacy, invaded her trust, and broken something precious between them. And she had no idea. Owen drove home that evening knowing he had to tell her the truth. The secret was eating him alive from the inside. Tonight, everything would come crashing down. Owen sat in his car outside their house for 20 minutes, trying to build up the courage to go inside. Through the window, he could see Naomi in the kitchen, cooking dinner. She was dancing a little to music he couldn't hear, her ponytail swinging back and forth. She looked happy. She looked innocent. She had no idea what he'd done. Owen's phone buzzed. A text from Naomi. Dinner's almost ready. Where are you? His fingers shook as he typed back. Just got home. Be right in. This was it. No more hiding. Owen walked to the front door. The smell of garlic and tomatoes filled the air. Naomi had made his favorite, spaghetti with meatballs. Perfect timing. Naomi called out cheerfully. I made extra garlic bread. Just how you like it. Owen stood in the doorway, watching her. His throat felt tight, like someone was squeezing it. Naomi, we need to talk. Something in his voice made her freeze. She turned around slowly, the smile fading from her face. What's wrong? You look terrible. Can you sit down? Owen asked quietly. Naomi's green eyes filled with worry. She turned off the stove and sat at the kitchen table. Owen, you're scaring me. What's going on? Owen sat across from her. His hands were sweating. His heart was pounding so hard he could hear it in his ears. I did something terrible, he began. Something I'm so ashamed that I can barely look at you. Naomi leaned forward. What did you do? Owen took a deep breath. 3 weeks ago, Marcus told me he saw you at the fundraiser talking to some guy. He said you two looked cozy. And I got jealous. I got suspicious. Naomi's eyebrows pulled together. Suspicious? Of what? I thought you were cheating on me, Owen whispered. The words hung in the air like poison gas. Naomi's mouth dropped open. You thought I was what? I installed cameras in our house. Owen continued, the words tumbling out now like water from a broken dam. One in the living room, one in our bedroom. I've been watching footage of you for 2 weeks. And I hired a private investigator to follow you. The color drained from Naomi's face. She stood up so fast her chair scraped loudly against the floor. You did what? I am sorry. You put cameras in our house? Naomi's voice rose to a shout. You've been spying on me? In our bedroom? Tears started rolling down Owen's cheeks. I know it was wrong. I know I violated your privacy. But I saw you with Daniel. The way you talked to him, the way you hugged him, the flowers. Daniel. Naomi's face turned red with anger. You thought I was cheating with Daniel Reeves? I didn't know who he was. I just saw some guy spending hours alone with you in our house. He's a volunteer coordinator for the school fundraiser. Naomi yelled. We've been planning the biggest charity event our school has ever done. He's married with 2 kids. I know that now, Owen said miserably. The investigator told me. There's no affair. You weren't cheating. But I already... Show me, Naomi interrupted, her voice cold and hard. Show me the footage. Show me what you've been watching. Owen's hands trembled as he pulled out his laptop. He opened the video files, all of them. Naomi stood behind him, watching over his shoulder as the recordings played. She watched herself greeting Daniel at the door, watched herself laughing and working and hugging him goodbye, watched herself in their bedroom, talking on the phone, reading her book, choosing her clothes for the day. Private moments. Personal moments. Moments that were supposed to be hers alone. When the videos ended, Naomi was crying. Not loud, dramatic crying. Quiet tears that slid down her cheeks like rain on glass. How could you? She whispered. How could you do this to me? I was scared, Owen said desperately. I was scared of losing you. I love you so much, and the thought of you with someone else made me crazy. So you turned into a stalker? Naomi's voice cracked. You treated me like a criminal? You violated every bit of privacy I had. I am sorry. Stop saying you're sorry. Naomi shouted. Sorry doesn't fix this. Sorry doesn't make me feel safe in my own home anymore. She sank back into her chair, covering her face with her hands. Her shoulders shook with sobs. Owen felt like his heart was being ripped out of his chest. Naomi, please. Tell me how to fix this. Tell me what to do. Naomi looked up at him, her eyes red and swollen. Do you want to know the truth, Owen? The real truth. Yes, he breathed. I have been distant lately, Naomi said, her voice shaking. I've been working late, texting more, smiling at my phone. And you know why? Because this fundraiser is the biggest project I've ever done. It's my chance to prove I can lead something important. It's my chance to make a real difference for those kids. She wiped her eyes angrily. Daniel has been helping me because he believes in me. He encourages me. He tells me I'm doing a great job. And yeah, maybe I've been spending more time on the fundraiser than on our marriage. Maybe I haven't been paying enough attention to you. Owen started to speak, but Naomi held up her hand. But you know what you should have done? Talk to me. Asked me what was going on. Told me you felt neglected. Instead, you treated me like a stranger, like someone you couldn't trust. I should have talked to you, Owen admitted, tears streaming down his face. You're right. I should have just been honest about my feelings. Yes, you should have. Naomi's voice broke. Because I would have told you the truth. I would have explained everything. I would have made more time for us. But now... She trailed off, staring at the laptop screen where the pause video showed her bedroom. Now I don't know if I can ever trust you again, she finished quietly. Those words hit Owen like a sledgehammer. Don't say that. Please don't say that. Naomi stood up and walked to the window, her back to Owen. I need time to think. I need space. Are you leaving me? Owen asked, panic rising in his chest. Naomi turned around. Her face was tired and sad. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. But I know we can't keep going like this. They stood in silence for a long moment. Finally, Naomi spoke. Delete the videos. All of them. Right now. Owen quickly deleted every file from his laptop and the camera memory cards. Done. They're gone. And the cameras? I'll throw them away. Right now. Owen grabbed the pen and the alarm clock and carried them to the trash bin outside. When he came back inside, Naomi was sitting at the table again, her head in her hands. We need help, she said softly. Professional help. A marriage counselor. Yes, Owen agreed immediately. Whatever you want. Whatever it takes. And you need to understand something, Owen. Naomi looked at him with fierce intensity. If we're going to stay together, we have to talk to each other. Really talk about our fears, our feelings, our problems. No more secrets. No more spying. Just honest, open communication. I promise, Owen said. I swear to you, I will never do anything like this again. I will talk to you. I will trust you. Naomi nodded slowly. Okay, we'll try counseling. But I'm not making any promises about what happens next. You broke something precious between us. Owen, it's going to take a long time to rebuild it. I understand, Owen whispered. Over the next few weeks, they went to counseling together. It was hard. There were sessions where they both cried. Sessions where they got angry at each other. Sessions where they wanted to give up. But slowly, painfully, they started talking about the real problems in their marriage. Owen admitted he'd felt invisible. Like Naomi cared more about her job than about him. Naomi admitted she'd been so focused on proving herself that she'd forgotten to nurture their relationship. They learned to communicate, to listen, to trust. The cameras were gone, but the damage they revealed, the cracks in their marriage, remained. Those cracks needed attention, care, and honest work to repair. 3 months later, Naomi's fundraiser was a huge success. The school raised enough money to buy new computers, art supplies, and even repaired playground. Owen attended the event and met Daniel Reeves properly for the first time. You must be Owen, Daniel said, shaking his hand warmly. Naomi talks about you all the time. She's so proud of the support you've given her for this project. Owen glanced at Naomi, who smiled at him, a real, genuine smile. I'm proud of her too, Owen said, and he meant it. That night, driving home together, Naomi reached over and took Owen's hand. Thank you for coming tonight, she said. Thank you for giving me another chance, Owen replied. We're giving US another chance, Naomi corrected gently. And for the first time in months, Owen felt hope. Their marriage wasn't perfect. It probably never would be. But it was honest now. It was open. It was built on communication instead of suspicion. The cameras were gone. The secrets were gone. And what remained was something we're fighting for. A relationship built on trust transparency, and the courage to face problems together instead of hiding from them. Sometimes, the truth isn't found by spying or investigating or watching hidden footage. Sometimes, the truth is found by simply asking the question and being brave enough to hear the answer. What did you think of this story? Owen's suspicion almost destroyed his marriage. But in the end, he learned that trust and communication are more powerful than any camera could ever be. Sometimes our fears can make us do terrible things, but it's never too late to choose honesty over secrecy. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more emotional stories about love, trust, and the lessons we learn when relationships are tested. Your support helps us create more meaningful content. What would you have done in Owen's situation? Let us know in the comments below.